In this video, we uncover the shocking case of Cody Fisher, a story filled with twists so insane, they'll leave you questioning everything. At the Crane nightclub in Birmingham, it was a happy night. There were lots of happy people around Cody Fisher on the dance floor, and he was laughing and moving to the music. He looked at his girlfriend and smiled in the bright lights. After only seconds, the crowd started to spread out. The music was broken up by screams. It was getting harder to live, but this wasn't a silly thing to do. It had been building up in the background. A plan, a gun, and a club where no one knew what was going to happen. Before we get into the full story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life crime documentaries that dive deep into the darkest and most unbelievable true stories from around the world. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss when a new case drops. Every story here reveals something new about the hidden side of human nature. And I'd really love to know, which country are you watching from? Drop it down in the comments below. It's always incredible to see how far these stories travel and connect people from every corner of the world who share the same fascination for true crime and justice. Your support truly helps keep these stories alive and remembered. Now, let's get into it. Cody Fisher's journey started in the middle of Redditch, where he grew up with a close-knit community and a family that loved him and saw how kind he was right away. Cody showed a unique mix of focus and humility from a very young age. These were traits that would stay with him on and off the football field. Cody didn't just play football for fun. Much of his life was shaped by his love for it. The Birmingham City Youth School is known for being very competitive, and he went on to play for teams like Stratford Town, Stourbridge, and Bromsgrove Sporting. It wasn't flashy that he was on the field, but it was strong. Coaches and co-workers often said that he was calm under pressure, reliable, and dedicated to his job. You could always count on him as a player, someone who knew how to play the game and did so well. Cody had an even bigger effect off the field. He was always happy and patient in the classroom when he taught physical education. He got kids to move, grow, and believe in themselves. He didn't have to yell to be understood. His calm demeanor and steady guidance made an impact on his students that will last a lifetime. Cody showed a different side of himself in those school hallways and gyms. He was a mentor who really enjoyed helping others find their skills. Cody was the fun person among his friends. He told jokes, remembered birthdays, and never held a grudge. He was the guy people went to when they needed help or just someone to talk to. Tracy, his mother, often talked about how nice he was. Everyone who knew him felt what she said about him. He had a good soul. His love for his family never changed. His bond with his dog can't be broken. His relationship with his girlfriend, Jess Chatwin, was full of love, fun, and respect for each other. Jess loved more than just Cody. She saw in him a partner and best friend for life. Cody was very happy in the days before Christmas 2022. He had dinner with his family on Christmas Day, talked about old times, and made plans for the coming year. It felt like life was full. There were no warning signs. There was no sign of the darkness that would come the next day. A lively bar called Pop World was where Cody met up with some friends 2 days before Christmas. There was music, a lot of people, and dancing. People pushed and shoved each other as they made their way through the crowded setting. During the evening, Cody moved through the crowd and briefly touched another guy. Contact that you hardly notice, the kind that happens 100 times a night in a busy place. There was one man, Remy Gordon, who felt that moment deeply. It wasn't known that Gordon, who was also 23, could keep his cool. His friends and family knew that he was prone to mood swings. Because he was cocky, easily angered, and had friends who fed his anger, he saw the short touch as an insult and an act of disrespect. Witnesses said that Gordon was fixed on the idea that Cody had done him wrong and locked onto him. He walked up to Cody and was angry, hoping for an apology or a response. However, Cody did not give it to him. Not with anger, but with quiet strength. He stood his ground. He hadn't done anything wrong, and he wasn't going to make things worse by being afraid. He refused to accept the outburst, and by doing so, he stepped into the middle of a storm that had been building up for a long time. Even though it was over in a flash, this meeting was far from over for Remy Gordon. What started out as a small complaint quickly turned into something much worse. That anger didn't go away with the night. It became more clear and sharp. He was already making plans for his next move less than an hour after leaving Pop World. He sent a picture of Cody Fisher to a secret Snapchat group and asked if anyone knew who it was. It wasn't out of interest. It was for surveillance. He was out hunting. The texts he sent were filled with threats. He made a joke about balaclavas. He asked out loud if he could get a knife past the security guards at the bar. These weren't threats made in a hurry. They were parts of a bigger plan. A plan that is being made slowly and on purpose, not because someone has been hurt, but because of a hurt ego and poisoned pride. Gordon knew where Cody could be on Christmas Day. He had gathered the details. He had already decided it would happen at the Crane nightclub. In the hours that followed, the conversations in those private message threads turned into proof that they were guilty. Each line is a clue that leads right back to his main point. What had been a meaningless brush on the dance floor had become a reason for violence in Gordon's thoughts. He wouldn't give up. He was getting ready for battle. The night of December 26th, Boxing Day, was meant to be happy and full of celebrations. Cody Fisher, his girlfriend, and some other friends went to the Crane in Birmingham for a night out. The venue was busy and full, with an event going on all night. Over 1,500 people crowded inside, ready to dance to the music of DJ Marco Carolla. There should have been electricity in the room. There is throbbing music, flashing lights, and free drinks. But there was a bad feeling going on underneath. People who went to the club later talked about a tense atmosphere. A lot of young guys hung out near the dance floor and didn't move or talk much. They were just there to watch. Some people in the crowd weren't in a good mood. It was heavy, and protection is almost non-existent. People who saw what happened said they were waved through at the door without having their bags checked or bodies searched. It was easy for Remy Gordon and his friend, 22-year-old Cameron "Cammy" Carpenter, to get through the weak protection. Carpenter became involved in Gordon's crazy plan a few days before. He was drawn into the grudge because of a small event that should have been forgotten. Later, CCTV video showed that they got to the club on purpose, walking side by side with their backs straight. They were not there to dance, that much was clear. Cody and Jess were having a good time inside the club. There was no sign or warning that the trap was being set around them. They didn't know that two guys were following them across the dance floor as they laughed, drank, and moved with the crowd. Cameron "Cammy" Carpenter, Gordon's partner, was seen on CCTV making his way to the bar inside the gay club. He went to get a bottle and then came back to Gordon's side. Throughout the night, they stayed close and moved through the crowd, always looking and planning. They were on the lookout for Cody and getting ready. They finally ran into each other near the dance floor. Cody and Jess were dancing, but they had no idea what was going to happen. The next thing that happened was quick. Carpenter walked up to Cody while wearing a mask. The first blow wasn't a gunshot. It was a hard slap that knocked Cody's phone out of his hand. The headbutt then came out of nowhere, was very hard, and was planned. Cody stumbled back as the crowd moved around. He still didn't know what was going on. Then there was chaos. Gordon and a few other people charged forward and started throwing punches and kicks at each other. Cody's jaw was broken on both sides by a single blow. Because he was scared and confused, Jess thought they were trying to steal from him. She grabbed his shoulder bag to protect it, but she still didn't know that he wasn't being robbed. It was a planned attack or ambush with a clear goal. Carpenter pulled the knife out of the chaos. He hit Cody in the chest with it. The person was then stabbed again, this time in the leg. The fighting happened quickly and was very bad. It was a big crowd, and many people didn't know what was going on right in front of them. Jess knew, though. She turned around and saw Cody lying down. He was just next to her, smiling in the light of the flashing lights a short time ago. He was now lying on the floor and not moving. She fell next to him and tried to help and hold on. To help him get better, she rolled him over and felt something under her hands. He still had the knife's handle stuck in his chest. Through the music and the chaos, her screams could be heard. It was too late. Security and staff rushed in and desperately tried CPR while rescuers pushed through the club. Cody's injuries were very bad. He was found dead on the dance floor, where hundreds of people were watching. His life was taken in an instant. Gordon and Carpenter got away in the middle of all the chaos. They have finished their job. They disappeared into the night, leaving destruction and shock in their wake. As soon as the killing happened, the Crane nightclub turned into a crime scene. A huge number of people were inside during the attack. It was very hard for the West Midlands cops to figure out what was going on. The venue was locked down, and police started getting accounts from witnesses. CCTV images from inside the club and on the streets around it quickly became an important part of the investigation. The attackers wore balaclavas and masks, but the video still showed their moves, clothes, and how close they were to Cody in the moments before the attack. Men were seen hanging out near the dance floor, but they weren't moving or talking to each other. They were just watching. They didn't come to hear music. They weren't here for that. The stories told by the witnesses matched the timing on the video. The officer in charge of the case said that the first 48 hours were very important. As investigators rushed to gather proof, calls for cell phone footage went viral on social media. Dozens of clips were sent in, and each one told a part of the story. There were short scenes of the fight, screams of fear, and a desperate attempt to save Cody's life. The bloody dance floor was searched by forensic teams. When doctors found Cody, the murder weapon was still stuck in his chest. It was taken out and put away as evidence. Around 9:15 p.m., CCTV outside the club caught a man getting something from a parked car and then going back inside without being checked. The police thought this was when the gun was brought in illegally. Investigators found the sheath outside of Crane nightclub on Adaly Street, but there were no clear fingerprints on the knife. DNA from Cami Carpenter was found to be a match during forensic testing. Based on that information, Carpenter had the murder weapon right in his hands. That was not the end of the probe. Investigators were able to figure out where they went with the help of more CCTV video from outside Crane. This included disturbing scenes of Gordon making fun of the attack at a nearby pizza shop. The computer evidence was very bad. The police were ready to move by December 28th. Just 2 days after the murder, police searched a flat in the middle of Birmingham City where Remy Gordon was hiding. Early in the morning, the door was pushed open. Gordon was caught before he could do anything or destroy proof. Inside, police looked for clothes, cell phones, or anything else that could connect him to the crime scene. They got what they were looking for. The truth was on his stolen phone. Digital forensics found the Snapchat texts Gordon sent in the days and hours before the attack. The conversations we talked about earlier in the video showed purpose, planning, and motivation. It wasn't a fight in the heat of the moment. It was an intentional killing. Carpenter was found getting ready to leave the country on a last-minute trip to Jamaica in London. He was caught only a few hours before his trip. 3 more suspects were caught in London. One of them was Rian Anderson, 19, who was later charged with a fight. 7 people were arrested. 3 were suspected of murder, and the other 4 were charged with helping a criminal. It was amazing how quickly the cops arrived. In just a few days, a schedule was made and suspects were arrested. But for Cody's family and friends, this was just the start of a long journey to get justice. Cody's murder made people all over the country angry before the trial even started. People started talking again about knife crime, club safety, and the memories of people who died too soon. Cody's mother, Tracy Fisher, spoke out strongly for change. She said the killers were weak, pitiful, and cowardly, and she wanted people who carry knives to face tougher punishments. You could feel her pain. The Crane nightclub's license was taken away, and all of its events were called off for good. The venue's lack of protection, which was already getting flack, came under more scrutiny. At the same time, tributes came in from all over the sports world. Cody was a great athlete and a nice person, and clubs like Stratford Town and Brahms Grove Sporting recognized that. Cody's story was told over and over again. Even though his death made no sense, his memory would. Tracy Fisher was brutally honest when she talked about what happened next. The pain she felt was like being stabbed in the heart. It would never go away. She still wasn't ready to go into Cody's room. It stood still as if time had stopped. It used to be full of boots and laughing. The trial began at Birmingham Crown Court in early 2024. It will last for 10 weeks. The prosecutor gave a detailed schedule of events from the fight on Christmas Eve to the planning of the attack on Snapchat and what happened afterward. The timeline included video footage, forensic evidence, witnesses, and Snapchat messages. The case was put together piece by piece. The defense said that Carpenter gave the fatal stabbing blow, but Gordon was the one who planned the attack, started the fight, and made it happen. The defense tried to explain it as an escalation instead of premeditation, but the judges saw through it. There was no question about Gordon's guilt after the stabbing because he laughed and imitated the attack at a pizza shop. As the judges thought about their decision, everyone in the room held their breath. Remy Gordon, who is 23 years old, was found guilty of murder and a fight. He was given a life sentence with a minimum of 26 years in jail. The judge said he was the key figure in a tragedy that could have been avoided. The 22-year-old Cami Carpenter was also found guilty of murder. The judge agreed that he used his left hand to drive the knife into Cody's chest. He too was sentenced to life in jail with a minimum of 25 years. Reagan Anderson, 19, was found not guilty of murder and manslaughter, but guilty of affray. He was freed on license after having been in jail for 18 months. The other 4 people who were caught for helping a criminal were given bail and later not charged with murder. The search for Cody Fisher's killers is over, but the raw, unending pain still lives on. What do you think about this case? Did justice win out? Thank you for watching and staying with me until the very end. Every case we explore shows us how unpredictable and complex the world can be, but it also highlights the importance of staying alert, asking questions, and noticing the details that others might miss. If this video grabbed your attention, surprised you, or made you think differently, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into real-life mysteries. Your support helps this channel grow and allows us to continue sharing stories that need to be told. I want to hear from you, so leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your theories, or the next case you think deserves attention. Every comment is read, and your feedback guides the direction of this channel. And if you know someone who would find this story important or eye-opening, make sure to share this video with them. Awareness spreads impact, and together we can make sure these stories reach more people. Always stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and look out for yourself and those around you. Life can change in an instant, and knowledge is one of the best ways to protect ourselves. Thank you again for watching, for thinking critically, and for being a part of this community. Your support, curiosity, and engagement make all the difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover another shocking story, piece by piece, truth by truth.